I honestly think when you get a kid in front of a camera and you start telling,
she's 19.
okay, but she rose to fame when she was what, 15, 16, whatever it was. When you can get a kid to say these kind of things, and she is not an expert, she has not. I can guarantee you has minimal, if not zero, qualifications, understanding of geography or geology or any of these things that they're talking about. 100%. She's not a child genius that she's like, oh, I know how to fix the CO. No, she doesn't. I can get in front of a camera. I can get a 14-year-old say, "How dare you?" and you are doing this, and it's just pathetic moralizing.
But you don't need to be an expert to realize.
You don't need to be an expert.
No, we're not. Look at us.
Hang on.
Wait a minute.
For you to be an complex issue, and you're saying you don't need to be an expert. Really?
No, you don't need to be an expert.
We're not experts. Look at us. Let me give you an example. We're not. We're not Islamic scholar, PhD experts.
Expert. Does she even have a degree?
Experts. No. But activists have a different job.
You made videos about Islam.
I actually did a master's, and one of my modules was in Islamic theology.
Well, one of the modules, yeah. But you and that.
I have more qualifications to talk about Islam than Greta does about the.
Do you have a PhD? That doesn't make you. Do you know the definition of an expert?
Okay, is she qualified? Forget expert.
I have a degree in finance and economics. I'm not.
Is she qualified?
Because I have a.
Is she qualified? Forget expert. Experts like
yes, it is. Yes, she is qualified to be an activist.
At 15 years old, talk about the environment.
Vidu, qualified to do what? Qualified to be an activist.
To lecture all the world leaders on the UN stage to tell them what to do.
We have celebrities go there because of the attention they bring.
And they're complete buffoons, right?
You misunderstand the difference between activism and expert opinion. They don't bring Greta to a meeting like, here's an expert with her analysis.
What is she?
She's an activist. Activist. You don't need to be an expert to be an activist. If you are hired to give expert opinion, then you need to be an expert. If you're an activist, you just need to be passionate and you need to be able to rile a community to be active. An activist is somebody who's effectively gets the population active on certain action. And the information you need, you could appeal to the experts for their information.
Sure. I don't think she genuinely... I honestly think she's being used, whether she knows it or not, to push forward an agenda. Go on.
Every single activist is being used, but is it knowingly or not knowingly? I'm an activist.
No, you're not being. No, as in, like, for example, if you're an activist, you're an adult, you can understand the situation. You have autonomy.
You're saying a child should not get into activism.
I would be very careful in pushing children in activism, especially if they're. Especially if they're the figurehead. It's one thing to go to a protest and be like, whatever, right? But it's another thing to be like, I'm going to put my 15-year-old daughter.
Let's say you have a daughter. Let's say you have a daughter.
Face of a cause. Okay. That's a different thing. I wouldn't.
Let's say you have a daughter and she is really passionate about animal abuse. Okay, she's very passionate, right? Let's say she's 16. And she has school projects, and she's like, "Daddy, I have pamphlets. I want to go pass it in the neighborhood." And would you not say, like, I want to raise awareness about dog abuse in my neighborhood? Wouldn't you be like, "Oh, I'm so proud of you, my daughter"? Like, or you're saying like, "No, you're a child. You shouldn't be an activist."
No, that's fine. Yeah.
So you'll be fine. Yeah. Let's say while she's doing that, while she's handing out pamphlets in the neighborhood, raising awareness about abuse against dogs, a local news shows up. And she's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And she explains it, and that video goes viral.
Okay.
A 16-year-old girl talking to the local news about.
I would be very.
Would that be a problem?
It depends. It does depend. For example, like, I don't mean to. I've got nothing against people who have autism or anything like that. I don't know her mental state of mind. If my daughter had certain mental abilities or where, like,
let's say she doesn't have mental state of mind. She's completely.
I think to put that much pressure and exposure on a 16-year-old girl or boy,
she's deciding it. She's not. She's saying, "I'm passionate."
At 16, you can't even drive, or you can't even get a tattoo, and you're going to put her as the front face of a thing.
She's not saying you put it. You're not putting her on. She's asking
as a parent. I have a right to protect her, right? I have a right to be like, I don't.
I know you have a right. That's what I'm asking.
Exactly. So I know. If my son or daughter is in that.
You have a right. You have a right. I know you have a right, and you have a right to be concerned. But I'm saying, with that right, what would you do with that right? She's coming to you and tell you that I'm really passionate about this. They're inviting me.
You can be passionate about it when you're 21 or 20 or whatever. You don't have the passion. No. If you're really passionate, you can wait.
Okay, but your 16-year-old daughter, she's like, they're inviting me to go speak at the city hall. Can you please lend me that? You will say no?
With parental guidance, and if I knew exactly what they were talking about and how much, like, it would
I want
be
to
a
go.
controlled
I
thing.
want to go tell the city mayor that they need to do more to save wild dogs in the streets because they're being hit by cars and everything. I want to go give a speech about that. Would you lend me that?
Sure. The thing is, wild dogs or whatever it is getting hit by cars is nowhere near as complex as global warming or climate change, however you want to frame it. It is not even the same thing, like, even relatively speaking.
The complexity, the thing is that there's a consensus. No. The only thing you need to know. Okay, so here's the thing. Do you understand the complexity of why E is equal MC squared?
No.
You don't. I don't. But you do believe that E is equal MC squared.
Sure.
So we don't have the expertise, but we have appealed to the experts. So even though we don't know how E is equal MC squared, we do believe that E is equal MC squared, right? Even children believe that in school. You don't if a child comes to you, if a child, I'm just saying that's complex. It's more complex. E is equal to MC squared. It was more complex than global warming. It's more complex, right? If a child comes to you and says, I learned today in school that E is equal to MC squared, you don't tell her no, wait a minute. That is way too complex for you to understand. Do you know the levels of complexities that Einstein had to go through to come to that conclusion?
Is the child becoming an activist, or are we appealing to the child?
No, you're misunderstanding me. What I'm saying is, I'm making another point. I'm making the point that when it comes to conclusions, we accept the scientific consensus. You don't need to be an expert in the details to accept the scientific consensus.
If she stood up on stage and said, I am for sustainable development, I am for helping developing countries decrease poverty, so on and so forth, I have no issue with any of those causes. I think they're very admirable causes. For her to push a certain political narrative, I don't agree with.
No, but hang on a second. No, but listen to this, Vidu. You would have no problem with Malala. Yeah, Malala was 15.
Malala paid the price for getting shot in the head.
Yes, Greta, I know. So yeah. So what? So Greta needs to be shot.
Greta is what exactly?
No.
Malala rose to fame because she was.
Malala is a kid.
You're mixing topics, Vidu.
Yeah. Malala is also a kid. You could argue that you're just a kid. What do you know about girls' education and versus girls shouldn't get education?
Story is different. She became a news story.
No, but she became the face of girls' education. She became the face of girls' education. This is exactly what Pakistani right-wing conservatives say, that, hang on, she's a freaking girl. She's a puppet of the West. Like, as they say, Greta is a puppet of WEF or something. Why Greta's message sounded, what was it, Armin? Wasn't she she protested alone for a month outside?
Right.
Yes, she was. You can say whatever she was brainwashed about into this climate change or whatever. You could argue that, but again, she was passionate about a subject, and we live in a free world where kids. And again, we do no, but the reason why it resonated with a 16-year-old girl, or it appealed to a lot more people, because she said, "How dare you?" It's her future or the future of a kid. You and I will be dead, by 2050 or 2055 or something. That's why she became a face of the future. I don't want to get into
that speech because that speech is a terrible speech.
Why? What's so bad about it?
By the way, Greta,
you just hate her. You just don't like her. You just don't like her.
By the way, she has been actually doing great. If we were to judge, actually, the fact that she has been very successful at bringing awareness shows that a 16-year-old activist, maybe it was a good thing that she's a good case to show that 16 maybe is not too early, because look at the result. As an activist, she has been very successful.
How many polar bears has she saved? How many whales has she saved?
But yes,
okay.
This is intangible.
Honestly,
show me the metrics of
the metrics is that level of awareness, the level
awareness
of people talking.
What about Malala? Again, Malala. How many? Look, Malala made a case against the Taliban. Malala made the case against the Taliban that Taliban don't allow girls. You could say that, well, Malala, after all your Nobel Peace Prize and all this world fame and everything,
measure
Afghanistan. You can't measure like that.
Actually, Harris has a very good point. Okay, you cannot. We know Malala had a positive influence, but it's impossible for us to measure how many girls are now in school because of Malala. We can't measure that, but we know she had a positive
point. That's a fair point. But I would say for Malala, is she Afghani or Pakistani?
She's Pakistani. Malala's Pakistani. She lives in the northern parts of Pakistan. That's where she was shot.
In that part of Pakistan, did they have a school?
She did go to a school, but then Taliban came in. Remember in 2012, and then they shot her. They first warned her that girls are not, they're not allowed to come to any school, any form of education.
Was that school
and
then
then she got
reopened?
shot. Yeah, there was an actual school, and then the Taliban attacked. Yeah, I know, but you're splitting hairs here. The point here is that's a political statement. That's a political statement.
Wasn't she an activist before she got shot?
No, she wasn't. No, she wasn't an activist. She wasn't an activist. She was nothing. She was just.
She was forced into the limelight by literally getting shot in the head.
She did make. No. Okay.
To avoid it.
Okay. So this is how she became an activist. So Taliban came in and said, okay, no girls are allowed in schools. Okay. She said, F you, I'm still going to go to school. So she did make a stand, and then she got shot in the face. You know, she might not have hoped that, okay, I'm going to get shot in the face. I'm going to get half paralyzed. Yeah, she did not. But she took a stand. She made a political statement that girls should be allowed to go to schools, right? She made a point. And this is what Greta is doing. She's making a point. You can't shoot her down by saying that, hey, you didn't get shot in the face. Or hang on, she had to be, if we just go with a comparable analogy, then her house should have been blown away by a hurricane or something. And then somehow, then you would have said, okay, now I can take you seriously. That's not a fair point.
Get attacked by a polar bear, and then I'll be like,
yes, polar bears are moving southwards.
So cold.
Wait, at what age does a child has the right to
make a political statement? Yeah.
Without your parents,
at any age. I just don't think it's wise for the parents to let her out and be the figurehead.
No. So that's my question. At what age can the parent not stop you? Like, it's up to you.
I think legally it's 18, right? Or is it whatever it is?
I think
you can argue 18, but again, like,
but
what if their parents agree with that?
So then the parents have no right to stop her.
What if the parent was sorry?
Now she's 19.
Okay with it.
Yeah, now she's old enough. She can do what she wants. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So now you should be like, okay, you've grown up, honey. That's it.
Yeah. So now I can judge her as an adult. So you can't say, oh, she's just a girl now. No, she's an adult. Like she can get married.
Did we say that? Did we say that? Did we say that you can't criticize her because she's a child?
I'm just saying people out there. Oh, she's not a girl anymore. So I'm holding to account to as a girl, you can pretend. Oh, I'm just a girl. I'm just trying to raise awareness. But now you're actually an adult. Like you can actually be in university. I don't know if she's.
No, but would you?
I'm actually surprised that she hasn't had more statements. Like as somebody that is being scrutinized so much, I'm surprised that we still haven't heard anything from her that we could be like, oh my god, that she screwed up there. Like she has a pretty good record.
Can you tell me? Forget about where she screwed up. Can you tell me where she's actually said something profound? Like actually, like scientifically, to be like,
I measure activism. I measure the success of activism based on how many people you get to mobilize and how many people you actually get bring awareness to. So she has been incredibly successful. That's the whole point of doing activism.
I would say, but what metrics?
By numbers. By numbers of people.
She has 5.7 million followers in just.
Oh, so that's now a metric. So we're gonna go by popularity.
Yes, for activism. Yes.
This is incredible. Are you saving the planet or are you saving Greta Thunberg? Which one is it?
No, but I don't care about Greta Thunberg. But it's a message. It's a message she's giving.
You're asking us about Greta Thunberg, so obviously we're going to talk to you about Greta Thunberg.
I mean, there's OnlyFans models that have more followers than her. So what? So what does that mean?
Yeah, and they are and they are successful OnlyFans models.
Okay,
okay, no, that's a very good point. That's actually, let me make your point, okay?
Exactly, I will make the points.
An activist who is trying to gain followers to bring attention to the environment, if they have 5 million followers, they are a successful activist. An OnlyFans model, okay, who's trying to use their followers to get more money on OnlyFans, if they have 5 million followers, that means they are a successful OnlyFans, right? That's OnlyFans. The OnlyFans model. No, but wouldn't you think, like, wouldn't you say that she's a successful model if she has 5 million followers?
She is a successful marketer in her political ideology.
Also, why are you dissing OnlyFans models as if like people keep like mentioning like, oh, I know OnlyFans model.
Okay, that's work. To all the OnlyFans models in my DMs, it's okay. I accept you. You know, it's fine. I like
no, sex work is real work, people.
So this is let's wrap this up and let's move on from this.
Go.
Again, like I have to speak about Malala as well. This is such terrible way of criticizing an activist, especially who are very young people, and they're not like Armin or me, where we can. Look at this.
Yeah, are they asking about this Greta?
No. About Malala. So let me show you. So Malala did talk about it. Here it is. Whatever a woman whatever a woman chooses to wear, she has a right to decide for herself. As I have said before, if someone forces me to cover my head, I will protest. If someone forces me to remove my scarf, I will protest. I'm calling for justice, Masa Amini. Well, so there you go. Now, Saravan Chitiana, you would still not change your opinion on that. You might be, well, you have no choice but to admit it that you were wrong, but you would still not say Malala is, you would still not approve of Malala.
Okay, I mean, for a second, I thought he's asking that about Greta. Like, has Greta spoken about it, Joe?
That's a good point. Why hasn't she? How dare you? Where's the how dare you? I want to see the how dare you to the Iranian regime.
Well, no, but that's like but that's asking an ex-Muslim activist why haven't you made a video? Why haven't you made a video on some South American religion?
Yeah,
that's just stupid.
Because they're dead. Because they end up killing themselves, right? That's what they did, right?
No, that's
human sacrifice. Humans are gone. They sacrifice themselves. How
Anyway.
dare you? Where's the how dare you? Come on. Where's all the how dare yous to all the other China?
You guys just hate. You guys just hate. Yeah,
I want consistency.
Over every issue on the goddamn
over every
planet?
single issue. You can't do this, Vidu.
You want an
Where
activist
have you been for the last couple of years, Vidu?
You're an
ex-Muslim.
You want an activist that picks a battle to do every single issue under the sun? To pick every issue?
No. So with Greta, I was talking about it's very easy to lecture Western leaders. How dare you go after Donald Trump? But what about one of the biggest?
You got to start with your home. You got to start. You got to start at home.
Okay, they go to Sweden.
Actually, no. Wait, you're right. You're right. You're right. I would accept that criticism if she hasn't. Has Greta talked about China?
I don't know. Maybe she might have at some point.
Greta doesn't even eat Chinese food. Okay, I don't expect her to be criticizing China or Russia or any of those kind of countries about how they do.
Do you know that?
Correct me if I'm wrong. Was she there protesting about Qatar? Was she? Maybe she was. Was she?
Global warming? Climate?
No. You see how?
I remember she was specifically in another.
There you go, guys. There's a tweet for everything. See, this is it. You know, you guys, your criticism is just ridiculous. Just like how Malala has done this or not. There you go.
Yes.
So yes, China is still categorized as a developing nation by WTO. They manufacture a lot of our products and so on. But that's of course no excuse for ruining future. How dare you? And present living conditions. We can't solve the climate crisis unless China drastically changes course.
That's great. So she's consistent.
There you go. She said it. She's consistent.
But she's still messed up.
Now you like her?
She's still messed
now
up.
You like her?
Wait,
now you like her?
She messed up what?
This much more.
Okay.
This much. But I still think this whole ruining her future, as if it's only, oh, poor Greta, how will she live until she's 90? She'll live to 150 with all the bloody money she has, okay? Don't worry about Greta.
Wait, who's sorry for Greta? People are sorry
for her future. Her future. What makes you think you have a right to a future? Okay.
There you go. There you go. There's a criticism of Russia. There you go, man. There's a tweet for everything. Activist Thunberg protests against Ukraine invasion.
Good.
Ukraine invasion outside Russian embassy in Stockholm.
Wow,
what more do you want?
I like her so much now. I
love her. She's wonderful.
Now
I'm a fanboy. I'm a fanboy.
Go on. I can make that joke now because she's over 18 as a joke, by the way. YouTube before anyone starts taking it.
Careful.
Only
mans. That's what you should open up.
Also, Andrew Tate fanboy.
Hey guys, let's open Only Mans. To have your questions answered on the next live stream, become my patron today. You can do so with as little as $1 a month. Link in the description below.